Hello, everyone. We're from Ironside, and we're here to show off the new scenarios capability with Amazon Q and QuickSight. My name is Rio Jane. I'm an associate consultant at Ironside. I have a lot of experience with several BI tools, including QuickSight and working with Q and QuickSight.
Hi, my name is Edwin Zepeda. I'm an associate consultant with Ironside and have been working with QuickSight for the past 3 years. For today's agenda, we'll be giving a brief introduction to QuickSight and Ironside's synthetic client. Then we will jump into our scenarios demo, one with store performance, and then ending it with social sentiment.
At Ironside, we have over two decades of experience in helping clients leverage data for their business. We work with clients to understand their business objectives and day-to-day challenges, and employ our deep expertise in data strategy, architecture and engineering, integration, BI, machine learning, and generative AI. We create technical solutions and practical approaches designed to drive smarter, data-driven decisions and help companies move further and faster toward their business goals. We have been an advanced AWS partner for many years, and we're happy to be here to demonstrate the new capabilities that Amazon QuickSight has to offer.
Amazon QuickSight is a cloud-based business intelligence service from AWS that enables users to create interactive dashboards, visualize data, and gain insights quickly and cost effectively. Powered by the Spice engine for fast performance at scale, it supports a wide range of data sources, including AWS sources and third-party platforms. With features like machine learning insights, embedded analytics, and natural language querying through QuickSight Q, it makes advanced analytics accessible without requiring technical expertise. Scenarios in QuickSight is a new capability that can perform analysis with natural language questions. For this demo, we will be using the synthetic client.
The Ironside Synthetic Client is a fictional sporting goods retail franchise. So think of it like Dick's Sporting Goods. The purpose of creating the synthetic client is so that Ironside can use it to demo QuickSight and Q without exposing real client data. The synthetic client data is generated in the backend that contains realistic data for many business topics, such as prices and sales history, labor and staffing, customer experiences, and including seasonality and regional product preferences. With the synthetic client data, we can show off the many capabilities of QuickSight and Q, including the scenarios capability that we will be demoing today.
The data for the synthetic client is generated by a collection of SageMaker notebooks. Each notebook focuses on different aspects of our sports retail store, from employee scheduling to sales history, while also baking in effects like PPI inflation and local real estate trends to inform store operations and sales. The generated data is then stored in an S3 bucket and ingested into our Redshift instance. We are then able to create data sources within QuickSight using our Redshift instance to visualize the data.
Now onto our demo portion. This is a synthetic client dashboard. The dashboard is created using the synthetic data that we just mentioned. Custom HTML machine learning visualizations are embedded as well into the dashboard. Just scrolling down here to show some of the QuickSight visualizations. We have bar charts, maps, pie charts, pivot tables, scatter plots, heat maps, and line charts with projections. On the second tab here, we have visuals relating to customer experience, including wait times and appointment keeping. The third tab consists of sales history data, including word count based on the most popular products by sales. Now we would like to see some additional analysis about the underlying data that the visuals do not display. We can simply click on scenarios at the top right to navigate to the scenarios interface. Scenarios is a capability with the Amazon Q that allows users to perform data analysis using natural language. First, let's navigate to the top left corner. Here, we can either find data from our existing dashboards or upload a new Excel or CSV file. Clicking on Find Data, we see a list of dashboards on the left. These are all the dashboards that you currently have in your QuickSight environment. Similar to data stories in the Q author view, we can select visuals to include in our analysis. And for this demo, I'll be selecting a few visuals related to sales performance by date, by state, stores, departments, and products. We simply add the visuals and QuickSight generates a preview snapshot of the data. On the left side, we can filter our data. The filters from our dashboard carry over automatically. For example, I will adjust the date filter to show just the last 3 months for the sake of our demo. You can also add and remove fields by clicking on the columns. And for our analysis, I will be adding a few additional columns. A few things to note, you can add up to 10 data sources to a scenario. You can include up to 20 visuals from a dashboard at one time, and data sources cannot exceed 200 columns. Afterwards, simply click on Add Data to complete the step. For our demo, I will also be adding some additional data from our dashboard relating to labor insights and real estate data, just to give Q more data to work with. Just like previously, I will set the date filter to only show data for the last 3 months, and I will also add a few additional columns to support our analysis. I will be adding city, state, daytime, shift fullness, and average home value. More things to note, QuickSight users with Admin Pro, Author Pro, or Reader Pro roles can access and utilize the capabilities of Q in QuickSight, in addition to this new scenarios feature. Once the data is finished uploading, we can then begin our analysis. And like I previously mentioned, you can ask questions in plain English to explore your business data, understanding past trends, forecasting future scenarios, and even getting recommendations on what to do next. With our data set added, we're now ready to begin our analysis. As you can see on the left, these are the data sets that you have selected from your visuals. To begin with our Q-assisted analysis, we can first describe the problem that we want to solve. For our prompt, I will simply type in, I want to see how different factors impact sales across my stores. Just type in a natural language prompt, and after some time, Q will generate sample questions for us to explore based on the data that we have added. And just a brief overview, after you create a scenario in QuickSight, the output is structured in threads and blocks. A thread is a vertical chain of prompts and responses. A block is a single prompt and its corresponding response. Each thread can contain up to 15 blocks, and each scenario can include up to 50 blocks total across multiple threads. When you start a new thread, Amazon Q generates a list of prompts inside a new block. Selecting a prompt triggers Q to analyze relevant data and return a summary of key findings, forecasts, and conclusions. So for example here, from the list of prompts, I will select, what if we increase retail prices by 10% across all stores? After a short moment, Q will generate the analysis. Q breaks down the analysis into executable steps, showing us exactly what logic it uses behind the scenes. As we can see in step 1, Q explains that our labor insights and financial data are being combined automatically to reflect our whole business performance. It further explains what data is being included for analysis, including employee count, store details, and pricing. In step 2, our current profit margin is being analyzed, including all of our sales metrics, such as cost of goods sold, profit, retail price, and units sold. In step 3, Q simulates the 10% price increase that we have asked for in our prompt. Q also lists out assumptions about price elasticity to further support our analysis. After the 10% price increase, the analysis includes our new sales metrics and projects changes in revenue for each product. Another thing that we can do here is to format the visuals that are being displayed. For example, I can sort the table using whichever field I prefer, and I will sort this by average retail price. Also, we can format the fields as well. I will change our average retail price column to a currency. In step 4, many supporting data visualizations are generated to further support our analysis. Q creates charts and graphs to represent the potential effects of price increase on sales volume and profit. Here, we can also change the visual type of these visuals to our preference. For example, I want to change this heat map to a horizontal bar chart. We're able to play around with the different visual types so that we can find a visual that is more fitting for our data. After generating some statistical analysis and projection changes and metrics, as we can see in step 6, Q provides key findings and recommendations on how 10% increase in price can affect our performance. It is showing that the average revenue will increase by 4.5%, and our average profit will increase by 9.5%. However, the sales volume will decrease by 5% due to price sensitivity. It also shows us different variations between departments and also including a competitive analysis and additional factors to consider. The summary suggests a modified price increase strategy and a more nuanced pricing approach to minimize revenue loss. We can potentially maximize profitability while minimizing the loss of customers. Again, it is great that Q reveals how each step is created. This transparency truly helps users understand the process. To dive deeper, click the plus sign below a block to create a new one with follow-up prompts. And to explore a different aspect of the data, we can scroll all the way up and click the plus sign above block to start a new thread. Starting with a new thread, I will ask, how do real estate trends affect sales? As we can see, Q combines our sales data with real estate information for analysis. The merged data set now includes the average home value column and our sales performance data. Q performs some statistical analysis to quantify how store performance changes with local real estate values and displays many visuals that support how the change in average real estate value can affect sales and profit. At the end, Q concludes that there is a strong correlation between home value and profit. The average transaction value shows the strongest positive correlation with average home value, and the other sales metrics show a positive correlation as well. The results of the quartile analysis are generated as well, stating that stores in the highest home value quartile significantly outperform the others. It also generates potential implications for business strategy and actionable recommendations based on the insights that are generated. Some of the recommendations are to focus on location strategy, marketing, inventory management, and store design. Now let's ask a follow-up. Does location type or size impact store performance? As we can see here, Q is running into an error, stating that the current data does not show location type information. We can modify the block simply by typing in what we want to change. I will simply type in exclude location type, analyze how store size can impact performance. After clicking apply and after some time, Q will automatically update the block. Q is able to locate the store size information in our data set and combine with our financial data so that we can continue with our analysis after running into the initial error. This illustrates how powerful scenarios can be by automating manual tasks and helping users analyze data quickly and efficiently. All you need to do is first find the data in your existing dashboards and selecting the visuals, or you can upload files to support the data that already exists. And then at the end, you can simply use natural language to generate insights. This concludes this portion of the scenarios demo. I will now pass on to Edwin, who will explore more of scenarios' natural language capabilities.
So today we will also be walking through a live demo of the text analysis capabilities in Q scenarios. We have pre-selected data from the synthetic client dashboard, and while that finishes processing, we will also upload our customer reviews. Q scenarios allows you to combine data from your existing dashboards with uploaded files that are in either Excel or CSV format. Uploaded files cannot exceed more than 1 GB in size. With our data loaded, we can now describe to Q what we're trying to solve. Let's start simple. Today, we would like to analyze our sales history and customer reviews. We would like to gain key insights regarding market trends and how to boost sales. Q will generate suggested questions, or we can enter one of our own. Some of the suggested prompts include: how do product ratings correlate with daily sales across different departments? What are the best-selling products in each department during our winter months? Let's start with a prompt of our own. What are the most common themes and negative reviews for products in the men's shoes department? And the amount of data that was selected and or uploaded will impact how long Q takes to generate a response. Here, Q begins by identifying how different data sets relate to each other based on shared fields. It first filters the data to isolate customer reviews that pertain specifically to the men's shoes department. Once these reviews are isolated, Q uses additional common fields, those present in both the product dataset and the customer review dataset, to combine information across the datasets to then focus on just the negative reviews. Below, we can see the data table Q begins to construct in order to generate insights. Q begins to analyze the frequency of keywords found in the customer reviews and creates visuals to present this information. Here we can see a bar chart that Q creates to demonstrate the most common issues found across the customer reviews. Some of the keywords that were found were support, disappointment, and souls. Q then concludes by summarizing the most common negative themes found amongst the customer reviews. Some of the concerns found by Q include comfort issues, quality concerns, functional problems, and price quality mismatch. Q then creates a list of areas where our business can focus their improvement efforts. Q goes over enhancing comfort, improving quality control, and enhancing the value proposition of our products. We can build on this by asking, how do negative review themes differ across the various sports activities for men's shoes? Here we can see that Q begins by identifying the different sports activities found in our data set. Q then focuses on relevant low-rated customer reviews. It begins to construct new data tables that will lead it to a conclusion. We can see that negative reviews are identified per activity. We can now see the new data table that begins to organize our data by the amount of reviews found per sport activity. Q also builds a bar chart to display this information. With these data tables constructed, Q can begin to analyze the reviews for keywords and major themes across the various sports activities. Q will present the different assumptions it took throughout the analysis. For example, it assumed the most common words that were found in the customer reviews are able to accurately represent the main themes found in the negative reviews. Q also makes the assumption to consider the relevant frequency of keywords within each sport category rather than the absolute frequency across all the sports activities. Q concludes with a summary of the different themes found for each sport. For golf shoes, we need improved traction. For our bowling shoes, we need to focus on enhancing material quality and grip design. For cycling shoes, we need to refine our fit options and improve comfort features. Q extracted these patterns directly from our customer reviews, highlighting the value of sport-specific design while managing customer expectations. As you can see, Q scenarios helps us surface detailed and actionable insights by analyzing both structured and unstructured data. By identifying pain points and trends, we can make better product decisions and improve overall customer satisfaction.
Just to wrap this up, scenarios powered by Amazon Q makes it easier for anyone to explore and understand their data. You can use the data you already have in QuickSight or even upload a file on the spot. It can guide you step by step through the analysis process. So even if you're not a data expert, you can still uncover helpful insights. The built-in AI helps highlight key takeaways and even suggest deeper areas to explore. And it also makes it simple to create clear and compelling stories you can share with your team or stakeholders.
Now on to questions. Were there any exporting options available in scenarios at the moment?
At the moment, there are no exporting options. However, the scenarios that you create will stay in your analysis, will stay in your environment. So you can always go back and access it.
Great. If we don't have any more questions, please, anybody feel free to write in any questions at awspartner@ironsidegroup.com. Thanks, Rio and Edwin. Really appreciate you sharing these demos today. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.